What is up, YouTube? And today I'm going to be showing you guys a super fast Terrormaton Inferno one-shot team that's basically like 25 seconds. And it's going to be extremely quick, utilizing the new shell, Tiger Yin, and also Plume. Now Plume is very good because she fits the dispel and the defense down roll, so you're allowed to bring another character basically, instead of having to run a separate dispeller and a separate defense down. So this makes it so that you can run 2 DPS and you can kill it just super quick in like the first turn cycle without crazy gear investment. So this team is going to center around Plume. Obviously, we're going to use Ditting as our DPS. He's going to just kind of be the secondary DPS. He goes second because you want his target to hit the boss. And then you'll have Valerian here for the cheat death and the attack buff. I found that just having Valerian is nice because just the cheat death just stops a lot of the annoying stuff that can happen where you could just die on the opener. And then the last 2 slots, you're going to run another DPS, your primary DPS. You can run Lilium, you can run Chloros, which will have a little bit more of a weirder setup that I don't really know exactly the details for. But you can also use Yeli, and then for your last slot, you're going to want to use Ninfonial or Beyontin. I'll showcase both Beyontin and Ninfonial. I'll also showcase Yeli instead of Lilium in case you have her instead. And you guys can see how this team works. But basically, very simple. All you need is Plume to go first. That's because you need her to dispel and defense down. You don't need her to be too tanky because we do have Valerian, so the entirety of your team can be pretty squishy and you'll be fine. Everyone else on your team can go just after her. Because you have Valerian, the speed tuning doesn't really matter too much, as it usually does with Veronica. And basically, you just want your buffer, in my case, Beyontin, just to go beforehand. She is just on random pieces of gear. Doesn't matter because even though you might think you want like defensive stats, which I guess I do have, Valerian just makes it so that you won't die. And I just realized my Valerian's missing a module, and this is the run that I do. So yeah, you can literally be missing a module on your team because the tanky stats don't matter. It's just all about speed tuning, having your Plume fast enough and high enough effect accuracy, which you want like 200%, and then your DPS just being geared enough to kill. Basically, this is my setup on him. He's going to be on his full damage, and he's on count. You can run him on White Fang as well, although count will be more damage. And my Lilium is going to be tuned to be slightly faster here at 213, while he's at 209. That way she can guarantee that she will apply the I guess do the damage beforehand, so the target will go on the boss, so we do more damage overall. My setup on her is going to be on Tiger Yin. If you're running Yeli, you're going to run Yeli on Revelation and then Dieting on Tiger Yin. But because I'm using Lilium, I'm going to have her on Tiger Yin because she's going to be doing the majority of the damage in the beginning. My setup for it is super bad. You can see I have like a yellow crit rate, I have purple final damage. The what's it called? The matrices are terrible for both my DPS, right? But you know, it ends up working anyways. Ideally, you want Kenai, Fury, and then either Swift Raid or Fury Edge for both. But you're gonna see that it works regardless. Now, if you're slotting in Ninfonial, you can run her on the same setup as Beyontin. Like I said, you don't really have to worry about her dying because you have Valerian who will protect your team. So I'll show you guys the team and how it works. Pretty simple, and you're gonna see that it's pretty easy to build and replicate. So I'm gonna show you guys a team that I literally just talked about. You can see I'm getting this pop-up because my Valerian's missing a piece, but literally doesn't matter. She doesn't really contribute anything except her passive. But you can see my team isn't speed tuned really at all. I just have Plume go before the main body, so 266 speed. You can see even though I get hit low, it's fine. I'll have Beyontin buff my team, and then my Lilium will go into the boss and do a ton of damage with her Tiger Yin proc. And then we'll kill the boss here with the count dieting one shot. So pretty much the one shot team, very simple. You can see it's a 25-second team. It's very consistent with this setup. And I'll show you it with like Ninfonial, and I'll also show you it with Yeli now. So I'll show you guys with Yeli, not Yeli, Ninfonial first actually. So it's a Ninfonial instead of Beyontin if you don't have Beyontin, and you know, Ninfonial was the previous banner. But basically you can see like the shells don't really matter for anyone except your DPS, like actually. Unless you are playing to 2 cycle, then you're gonna want probably Codex on them, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. You can see we are going to do the spell into the buff here, and then the boss will not be able to kill us because we have Valerian, what's it called, cheat death. And then my Lilium goes into the boss, does a ton of damage, same thing, and then we will then clean up with our dieting count. So you can see pretty much the same thing, 28 seconds this time, and this is because Ninfonial's animation is actually longer than Beyontin. So if you want faster runs, Beyonce's actually going to be a little bit quicker for you. So I'll show you guys the Yelly team now. And with the Yelly team, because my Diting's on a worse setup, you might need to turn cycle it if you're not on like a really strong Tiger Yin, but it still works. One thing I will say though, and I forgot to mention, is if you're using Ninfonial, you want to make sure she does not lap the boss, because she needs to apply the Ryan Bloom right before your DPS goes. So you want her to go third, or I guess not third, but right before your DPS, but after the main body. And if you're using Plume, you have to keep in mind that Plume actually boosts your team twice, because this arm will go and then the main body will go. I guess like only once, because you don't care if the main body goes, but you have to look at the turn meter. You don't want Ninfonial to cut here, because now you want her to apply Ryan Bloom, and this will give everyone that shield, but also more importantly, the Ryan Bloom attack buff. This is going to make you do a lot more damage on the boss. You'll see here with Yelly going into it. If you get unlucky with Yelly, what ends up happening is the target doesn't go into the boss, but still fine, still ends up working. You can see that this is also slightly slower because Yelly has to follow up attack. But in the case that you can't kill it on the first cycle, then you can just run Codex on your characters and just run it just basically twice, right? So yeah, basically Codex on Plume, Ninfonial, and Valerian will make this team a lot more stable, so that's what I recommend in the case you just get super unlucky with your follow-ups or if your damage is lacking. And just for fun, I'll show you guys one with Dorothy the Wisher. So she's kind of on the same setup as Beyonce. Actually, she's on the exact same setup. You just want her to go before your DPS. What I recommend though is having Lilium at the highest attack, because you want her to buff the Lilium, because you know Lilium's damage outside of the S3 is way higher than Diting's outside of S3. And because she actually gives this crit rate buff, which is 35% crit, you can also just run triple damage on your mods, which will make your Lilium hit like a truck. Not actually higher than the Ninfonial buff, I think, but it also buffs your Diting's damage with the crit rate. You have to keep in mind you're also getting that Valerian, what's it called here? The attack buff already. So it's a pretty good setup, also works. I'll show you guys how it actually plays out. It's pretty much the same thing, but in case you're like wondering, oh, doesn't Diting not get the attack buff then? Nope, you have Valerian here, which will still give you the attack buff, which is great. So you'll see we get the crit rate buff on everyone. You're going to see then my Lilium goes into the boss. She gives herself attack buff, and then Diting gets attack buff from the Valerian passive. And this is going to end up killing. If it doesn't, like this, which is actually hilarious, what you can do is Valerian will reapply S3, and then Dorothy the Wisher will actually push up your team again, and you can kill. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the team comps. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this Terrormaton Inferno one-shot. Didn't want to make it too long because it's a super fast run, and the setup is super easy, so you know, me just yapping wouldn't really make sense. But yeah, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. You're going to see that this is going to be you know, really fast run. A lot of people are speed running now at like 25 seconds, and now you guys can join the club because Inferno Terrormaton is going to be the fastest threshold you can clear. So if you have a lot of stabilizers you want to go for and you still need stuff from Terrormaton, it's actually a very good dungeon to farm because of how quickly you can get through it. It's going to be like double, sometimes even triple the speed of the other thresholds. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.